My name is Gary Kasulu, and I'm recording this with one take, let's hope. It's for World Transformation Day. And when we've got the coronavirus out there, it couldn't be a more apt time to talk about happiness and mindset, because that's what this video is about. When I was asked to do World Transformation Day, coronavirus felt a long way away. So we're going to go slide by slide. You can see the slides on the right. So what's the strategy? Well, there isn't really. Everyone's happiness is slightly different. And this is my truth of happiness. Yours might differ, and that's completely fine. Some things you might agree with, some you might not. So we're gonna slide through this. Cultivate gratitude. Now this is in no apparent order, but gratitude is pretty difficult. Happiness is pretty difficult unless you have gratitude. Your belly could be empty, you could be in prison, you could be in the worst situation but still happy. The mindset is that you can be grateful for what you have. That's the first one, and it's a nice first one because it's pretty difficult to be happy without some gratitude. I'm really grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I'm smiling and I'm happy and that I'm in a house. A large proportion of the world don't have a house. It's incredible. We've got electricity. I've got the ability to learn. I'm super grateful for so many things. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis about 25 years ago. That makes every day that I wake up a grateful day. You got to feel good to be good. Now think about when you feel good. You feel a tiny inch taller. You feel like there's a skip in your step. Like if you get your heart broken, the music in the back of your mind just stops. Feeling good to be good is, I love this saying because it's so true. Being depressed, being down, having jealousy, all of these things don't make you feel good. And just if you feel good, you got that step. Your physiology is just that little bit extra. So I feel good to feel good. Being outstanding. There's different levels of happiness, and certainly a poor level of happiness means you have no choice. And empowerment is a really big thing when it comes to empowerment. When it comes to happiness, you don't feel you don't feel free. You have no choice. The next level up is good, and good is never good enough. Excellent. An excellent attitude towards happiness is you're working on it. You're surrounding yourself with brilliant, lovely, caring people. Whereas when you have a poor attitude to happiness, you don't care who you surround yourself with. You don't care if you've got integrity. You don't care if you're authentic. But there's one step more, and it's outstanding. When you're outstanding, you work on being happy because it doesn't. There's some studies that say that when you lose a limb, if you're a happy person, you will go back to being a happy person 3 years later anyway. It takes work, but it's certainly, you might say, but it's DNA. But only 50% is your nature and then your nurture. So be around other people, work on being an outstanding attitude, and you'll be happy. Don't make others wrong. Well, if you're making others wrong all the time, neither party are happy, nor you, nor the other person. I learned this when I went on a course called Landmark. Landmark teaches us not to make others wrong, and it's one of the biggest lessons I've learned because nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to be made to look bad. And you see, you're left, if you have integrity, you're left with a bad taste in your mouth when you've made someone else wrong, because it's not a win-win situation at all. Make everyone right and you're good. Self-esteem, one of my favorites. I was asked to do a talk at a local school, and they asked me to talk about self-esteem. I said, hey, you know what? I'm not qualified to do this. They insisted that I do it, so I studied self-esteem for 3 months. And to my surprise, I found something that I wasn't expecting. Self-esteem, actually, in simplified, is the people in your life, if they describe you, they're describing the same person. So say you're in class, you're a 15-year-old, and the guy that you sit next to in geography, knows one person, and then someone that you play sports with might know another, and your auntie on your mum's side knows another kid from your auntie on your dad's side. This is very much such an important cornerstone for happiness. Self-esteem aligned means an aligned happiness. So you cannot be 16,000 different people and different characters. Be yourself, and your self-esteem will go stronger. This is good. I didn't plan that. Being authentic is part of having great self-esteem. Caring about what you are inside and just being yourself is one of the most beautiful freedoms that you can have. And I know when somebody's not being authentic. I hope that I'm coming across as authentic. I really genuinely care about, maybe if just one person watches this and it makes a difference, that is worth all my day of putting this together. So being authentic, big one. These are just bombs for me. These make me smile. Lifelong learning. So when you're learning all the time, it's opening up different parts of your brain. And if you are a student of learning, it doesn't have to happen in a classroom. Learning can happen every day. I just had a barbecue with my son, and I taught him about setting the coal up, and when to put the meat on, and when to not to use food hygiene. So using for one piece of meat, it's a different utensil to another. So that's really big. Like, learn all the time. Learn about digital, learn about people, learn about life, learn about ecology, learn about different things. And all of a sudden, your brain just becomes big, and a big brain's a good thing, right? Your brain can shrink over time, so you don't want that. That's something I'm big into, having MS. I know that multiple sclerosis shrinks your brain, and my last MRI scan, the neurologist said I had a really big brain, and he said that was a really good thing for somebody that's being diagnosed as long as I have. So a lifelong learning strategy. Letting go. I know a lot of miserable people as well as I know a lot of happy people. And there seems a trait with miserable people. They find things really difficult to let go. Something happened in 1964. Someone's still holding on to that. I heard a speaker today talking about just letting go, where she was a yoga teacher, and she was saying, where is it in your body that feels tense? And think about that and let it go. There is some really beautiful, it's wonderful when you just let a feeling go, or you're holding a grudge and you just make up with that person. Wonderful. Happiness comes by letting go. Change the world. That's the ultimate, the absolute ultimate in happiness. When you're making that small change, I say that to many people. I say, look, change the world. And they look at me like, Gary, are you mad? But I changed the world today by teaching my son a barbecue. So when I'm long gone, he's going to teach his son or his daughter. So it doesn't need, like a butterfly floats one place in the world. I don't know what that saying is. And we feel the wind somewhere else. It can be small incremental things, and you can change the world. That makes people happy. Family is lovely because they love you unconditionally. But you know the wheel of life. You can't be too focused on one particular wheel of life. This is a fundamental to wheel of life. If you're too family focused and something goes wrong with your family, that can lead to unhappiness. So a good balance, love your family, love them back, but if your family's being negative and holding you back, you've got to be pretty solid with that and strong and say, look, I want to do this. And if they really love you, they'll let you go. And they'll let you do what you need to do. Fostering friendships. Friendships are wonderful. And even at 46, I'm still making new friends. And I sometimes wonder when people say, I've got all the friends I need. I don't need any new friends. Now, I've got room. And I've got a love for everyone. If someone wants to be my friend, then great. There's all different types of friends. Friends you go for in a business crisis. Friends that you have that might give you emotional help. There's friends that will help you go and paint the ceiling, you know. You've got different types of friends. Nurture that friendship. Keep going. Engage in meaningful activities. I met this priest once. This was such a cool guy. And I said to him, like, we're hanging out, we're talking. And he just said he needs a purpose. He asked me my purpose. I said, what's your purpose? He said, to make a difference. If you're making a difference every day in a positive way, can't go wrong. It seems like a lot. There's like 20 slides here, 20 slides. And there's probably 2,000 slides to happiness because it's like a cake. And if you miss out an ingredient, it still tastes so right. But unless you've got all the ingredients, it's not going to work. This is something that can make you really unhappy. It's that self-talk. We've all got it. If you listen to yourself talking, somebody walks off and you say, he's not such a nice person. That's not good. If you're saying, I'm going to fail, that's not good. Your self-talk, you need to train it and listen to it. Stay silent. What's going on in there? What's going on in that brain? I love the idea of soccer. There was a guy that took penalties, and he had the highest percentage of taking penalties and scoring. And when they asked him, they said, what goes through your mind just as about you're going to place the ball and you're going to go and shoot a penalty? He said he tells himself, this ball will go in. So that's self-talk. Like I'm a trained optician too, and when I'm teaching people to put contact lenses in, and they're saying to themselves, it won't go in, it won't go in, it won't go in, it won't go in. I stop and I say, of course it won't go in, unless you're saying to yourself, you will, you can, I will. Then that magic happens. Negative thoughts and feelings. That's exactly the same as what I just said. Like, you've got to remove those negative thoughts. And it takes balance, yin and yang. Yes, you've got to see crap before you see good sometimes. And if you only eat cakes, you'll never know what sweet tastes like unless you taste sour. But negative thoughts generally do not have a place in your brain. Yes, you want to protect yourself, fight or flight. But if you can balance your negative thoughts, they say you need 20 positive thoughts to rub out a negative thought. Remember that. Your network of people. Like, have more than just one network. So yeah, you go to church, you go to mosque, you go to synagogue. And if that is your life, you need a bigger life than that. Like, I'm so fortunate that I'm part of BNI, which is a worldwide network. I have my business relationships, my friendship relationships, my family relationships, the relationship with my wife, the relationship with my children. So having that massive network is a variety that I have a network of my neighbors. So big network means big happiness. We talked about being outstanding. We talked about fostering. Why has my slides gone wrong? Gratitude, feeling good, being outstanding. Don't make others wrong. Strong self-esteem, being authentic, lifelong learning, letting go. We've done them all. I love that. I'm going to finish on changing the world. If you can, just do that small thing. Pick up a piece of rubbish that somebody else dropped in front of them. Do you know how that makes you feel? How it makes them feel, and it makes you feel. How does it feel where it's not what you say, it's how you make somebody feel. And if you can send out positiveness and radiate positivity, you're going to be happy. And those around you are very influential. So if you can surround yourself with positive people, you cannot go wrong. So this is Gary Kasulu. I'm talking about World Transformation Day. I've done this in one take. I'm hoping that you've taken something away. It quite likely is all things that you quite likely knew already. Having a desire to being hungry, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, having hustle. These are things that just innate, and a driven person and somebody who really wants to create a better world is generally happier. I'm going to leave you on this last thought. A positive person outlives a negative person by 15 years. Because when you're positive, the world smiles back at you. Have a great World Transformation Day. If you've enjoyed this, share it. And in one take, I love it.